Was that? No, it's not live. No. I'll have to cut out the boring stuff.
Everybody grab a seat. Let's do this thing. Good morning, everybody. This thing's a little diabolical looking. I don't know what happens when I press the button. We'll see. Welcome to New York City. ComiXology's home since our founding. It is a beautiful October day. I think last year I guess it was nice on this day, but rainy the rest of the con. Looks like we're forecast for sun for the whole week, so that's great. I'm Jeff D. Bart. I'm the head of ComiXology. And for those of you who don't know, the ComiXology team is responsible for comics, manga, and graphic novels worldwide at Amazon, excluding Japan, which is a sister team of ours. So thank you all for coming. We have a full house. Very cool. We have creators. We have press. It's really gratifying to have you all here, so thank you for coming. Before we dive into ComiXology Unlimited, let's talk about ComiXology. For those of you who don't know, ComiXology is, bear with me, I'm having nerves and my slides moving. ComiXology, we have 250,000 titles available to purchase a la carte. ComiXology Unlimited has 45,000 titles. Kindle Unlimited has thousands, and Prime Reading has thousands. I'm proud to announce that our business is thriving. We're seeing strong year-over-year growth, and Wednesday continues to be our biggest day of the week. Our long-tenured ComiXology legacy customers are still driving sales and borrows. Our legacy customer numbers remain strong. And we're excited to announce that about a third of our business is customers that are new to comics, who bought their first comic, graphic novel, or manga on Amazon in the last 1 year, which is really exciting. It's great to be a place where new fans are discovering and becoming hooked on comics. Very cool. So you may have heard. You have audio? Try again. It worked before. Check. See? All right. Can I play that again, guys?
Second strike.
On Wednesday, Amazon announced the Kindle Color Soft, which, as you can see, is a very interesting device for us comics fans. It's a device that, it's not an iPad. It doesn't have the kind of really bold colors, the contrast ratio of an iPad. But if you've ever taken your iPad on the back deck or the beach in the sun, you can't see it. This device is really great in a lot of circumstances. I've been doing a bunch of reading outdoors. I've handed it to my kids, and they're reading it. I actually had a chest device for a little while, and it is amazing. Now, it may not be the device. If you're one of our customers who has 85,000 comics in your library, it might not be the device for you. Doesn't have the storage for that large of a library. But if you've got 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, it's great. If you're one of those new to comics customers that I talked about, it's great. So we're super excited. And it seems a lot of the press, the story is, hey, this will be great for comics, which is super exciting. So excited to see how this works. It's on sale now, and we think it's kind of just another tailwind for our business. We think it just helps us move forward. Let's talk about ComiXology Originals. In 2024, we've released 77 single issues, collections, and graphic novels. And we're on track to hit 94 by the end of the year. Pretty amazing. Like 94, that has gravity, that has weight. We're super excited about that number. And it's the hard work of all of our creators, the hard work of the ComiXology team to make that happen. So we're just really pretty impressed with ourselves. That's a great number. So to all of you who contributed to that, thank you. It's pretty great. Oh yeah, clap. In print, Dark Horse has released 15 ComiXology Originals releases this year. And we're on track to release 20 by the end of the year. So very cool. We've got a bunch more releases next year, and I think we're going to talk about those later on. We also announced in May that we signed Unveils to carry ComiXology Originals print titles as well. These are the first 3 titles. They looked, the ones I've seen so far, which is Marley's Ghost and Parliament of Rooks, look stunning. Marley's is November. Parliament of Rooks 1 is October 30th. But everybody here, when you leave, you're going to get a swag bag. A survival kit, let's say, for the con. Think like hand sanitizer. But you're also going to get Parliament of Rooks 1 in that bag. We're super excited about the relationship with the Blaze. They've been amazing, and the quality of the books is just great. So we're excited to announce that we're doing 6 more titles with the Blaze. Cold Hard Cash, Hard Style Juice, Retroverse, Roderick and the City Memorial, Slice, and the Lycan. We'll talk about a couple of these in a few minutes. So we're super excited to be doing more books with the Blaze. Timing's up. We're not ready to announce that. The DocuSign's still saving. But we'll announce that within the next couple of months. We're also super excited that we've signed a deal with Man Cave for print. Man Cave will be releasing 10 ComiXology Originals, including Beneath, Boxed, Breakland Season 2 and 3, Ghost Box, The Ghost of Wrecker's Cove, Groupies, Mid-State, and Nostalgia and Wag. Very excited. Man Cave is awesome. We've admired them for a long time, and we're excited to be working with them. Again, we don't have that DocuSign officially is still saving. We don't have dates yet, but we'll have that soon. But super excited about Man Cave. So to wrap up, a lot of interesting and good news, but there's more. We just signed 17 new deals for 50 singles, 10 trades, and 7 original graphic novels from an amazing cast of characters. A bunch of these creators are ComiXology alumni and folks that we're excited to welcome back. some of these folks are industry veterans, but new to ComiXology Originals. And some folks are new faces that none of us have seen. So we're super excited. We're intentionally being cagey and not announcing titles, not announcing timing, and not announcing pairings. So these are all the artists and writers, but you can get out your decoder ring and try and figure out who's paired up with who. But super excited. And it's kind of, frankly, like if you question what ComiXology Originals, kind of next phase was, this is it. This is us pushing our chips on the felt and moving forward and doing more. So very excited. That's good news. Come on. Good news. I think with that, now I'm turning it to you. Is that right? So any of the creators that are going to be speaking, if you can make it to the side of the room, that would be great.
Hi everyone, I'm Pamela Horvath, and I work with many of you in my publicity role, but I'm also working closely with a lot of these creators to bring out their ComiXology Originals titles. So first I'd like to introduce, I'd like to talk about some of the books that are coming to print very quickly. We have Parliament of Rose, which Jeff just mentioned, by Abigail Jill Harding and Richard Starkings. It was nominated for an Eisner Award earlier this year, and we're really excited to have issue 1 coming out on the 30th. It's reading release of single issues with it. And next we have Marley's Ghost. Come on up. We have Josh O'Neill, the writer, and Jason Campbell, the artist. And we're going to say a few words about Christmas cheer.
Okay, so in the early 50s, Harvey Kurtzman basically decided he was going to invent the graphic novel. He wanted to do an adaptation of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. He called it Marley's Ghost. He didn't want to do it as a comic book. He wanted to do it as a bound book through a book publisher for the mass market. He drew a handful of these absolutely beautiful pages, some of Harvey's best work, and a few chapters of really loose pencils. And then he pitched it around to book publishers, who all said, "Sir, there's no such thing as graphic novels. We don't know what you're talking about." So it was never published. Then somehow, 70 years later, for reasons unknown to us, Gideon and I were entrusted with finishing the unfinished Harvey Kurtzman graphic novel, Marley's Ghost Christmas Carol, which is now coming out from Ablaze. And we're so excited. It won the Eisner Award for Best Digital Comic in 2017. It's been kind of a ride getting here. So, what do you think, Gideon?
Yeah, it was this thing working? Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, this was the most challenging, fun, and also kind of terrifying project I ever worked on. I was a graphic novel rookie at the time, and so to kind of try to do justice to Harvey Kurtzman and a guy named Charles Dickens right off the bat was definitely a challenge. One thing that I did to try to make my job a little easier, because I knew I was going to have to draw an old guy wearing a Victorian nightgown about 300 times, and I had no idea how to do that. So I hired a seamstress to make an actual Victorian nightgown, because my friend who was my model was 6'4", and they don't really sell those anymore. So I hired a seamstress who made a nightgown, and I took all these really hilarious photos of it. And I have all those photos if anyone wants to do like a little exclusive article. I have his permission to. Yeah, so thrill of a lifetime, and so happy that it's finally in print.
Next, we want to bring up Jamal Eigel, the artist of Dudley Snyder. Come on up. This is coming out this coming week, October 20th.
Good morning, everybody.
see all you guys and to get to be a part of ComiXology. This book was really special to us. Like, I've been a fan of Jamal's forever. He was actually
Same here.
he was at the very first signing I ever did at Jim Hanley's first. You remember that? I was terrible. I had like one comic, and not even. It was like a backup out, and they put me with these guys who were like legends already. And you were so kind to me, and I really appreciated that. But so I've been looking to work with him forever, and so we've been talking about a project that we wanted to do something where we get to experiment and make something just from the ground up that we both love. And we both have kids that are teenagers and that are kind of finding their way, and we wanted to do a book that felt like it wasn't necessarily scaled down like a kid's book or anything like that, but had that spirit about it was hopeful in a dark time that felt like it would have this epic scope like the adventures we loved growing up, and at the same time would really speak to that kind of the inventiveness, the ingenuity, and the perseverance that you see in kids these days.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Doug Jackson for me, he's Tom Swift, he's Harry Potter. It's a YA adventure, but it's also a love letter to New York City. Like, so much of the DNA of this book is us and our kids, and just like I grew up, reading choose your own adventure books and watching like we all have, spec fiction stuff. But being able to make it so personal, and especially like artistically for me, like there's so much of me in this book. Like I designed the logo. Like I did like everything in here. Like I got to pick my team as far as like the art team, Chris Sotomayor, Tom Napolitano, Juan Castro. Like just I had so much fun working on this, and getting the opportunity to work with Scott, who like great guy, blew up like years when we were both at DC. For years we're trying to figure out how to work together and finally get to do something together that was so personal and so much fun. And if you haven't seen, like, everybody knows, like, detail is not a problem for me. Like, visually, like, I fill pages with stuff, but I really stuck my foot into this book. Like, every nook and cranny in terms of design is just, it's crammed with little Easter eggs. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. If you haven't read it already, please check it out.
And sorry.
No, go ahead.
The last thing I'll say too is like it's been such a joy. Like one of the great things about working at ComiXology is they really encourage us to just make the books that we feel organically drawn to. There's a real sense of support, of creator first, and it's been such a wonderful relationship. I'm really excited to continue it. So,
Yeah, no, I just want to add to that also. It's like at least 4 of my titles are on ComiXology: Wronger, Molly Danger, Dudley Dats, and a lot of the stuff that I've done previously. So my relationship with ComiXology goes back to the beginning of the company pretty much. So I'm really happy to be associated with ComiXology.
So now we're gonna bring up Chip Zdarsky, who's gonna tell us about some bats. I mean, vampires. And this series all-nighter.
Everybody else gets a buddy.
On purpose. Make you feel good.
What's up?
Tell me about the all-nighter.
Okay, sure. So the All-Nighter is a book we did for ComiXology, strangely enough, with the artist Jason Lau, and it's about an all-night diner that is owned and operated by a group of vampires, and one of them is a young vampire who is kind of disenfranchised with this life of just serving people food in the evenings and like subsisting off like bags of blood. It's a great talk as we all sit in mimosas. And so there's a rule, like you can't reveal to the world you're a vampire, or else like these kind of demon creatures come and take you away. And so one night he finds the loophole, which is put on a mask So it's like a superhero origin story for a vampire, where he can kind of go out and be himself, but also not get taken away by these demon entities. Which all goes well until every other supernatural creature realizes this loophole. So it's been super fun just to see Jason draw like just ludicrous ogres and zombies and stuff with like dumb little masks on and like no one knows I'm a zombie because I. And the book started out that way, and like one of the nice things about ComiXology is like they kept bringing us back to more to tell about this world, and like basically by kind of issue 3 they're confronting God and like all these giant spiritual questions, which maybe I wouldn't get to do on Batman. I don't think Batman's allowed to talk to God. I'm sure some sort of PC rule about that. So yeah, the freedom of ComiXology to be able to kind of tackle these kind of big, grand metaphysical subjects has been fantastic. And one of the nice things is like, because I knew Jason in Toronto, he was like an intern in my studio back in the day. We kind of fallen in love with comics and ComiXology. When they brought me on board, I got Jason in to draw our first book, Afterlift, with them, and he blew up. Like it's so great just to see him just be loved and admired. And now he's doing all this Marvel stuff, and like where is he now, right? Like where is he? Congrats on your Marvel chops, Jason. So yeah, his ego's out of control, but besides that, it's been such a pleasure to kind of like to see his rise in the industry. And ComiXology was that spotlight that really kind of like showcased him to the world, which I'm grateful for. I don't know if he is. I don't know. But yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah.
And so volume 1 and 2 are out.
Yeah.
This is coming out volume 3 in January.
Yeah, through Dark Horse. So yeah.
So I made him feel really uncomfortable, so I'm actually going to call up Kurt Piers and Lilo Ridge at the same time so that they don't feel uncomfortable.
Fine. Must be nice.
Kurt Piers has been pushing boundaries with a lot of his titles, and Money is a family drama, and he's going to talk a little bit about that.
I'm afraid still.
Yeah, at least everybody though. First off, thanks everyone for coming. I know it's early, but I'm excited to be here talking to you about all the cool stuff we're doing in ComiXology, and it's great to be here with all my peers who are doing great work. So yeah, Money. I think the way I pitched this, which I try not to roll your eyes too much, was Game of Thrones meets Succession, right? But I wanted to take sort of the stuff I liked about Game of Thrones, the plot stuff, where it's all these different factions sort of, working against each other, manipulating, really, really juicy sort of twisted drama, and combine it and sort of set it in a more contemporary world, sort of like, what the Murdochs were doing this. So there's about 5 families who sort of rule and control the world, and every 10 years there's a vote, who's going to be the next sort of leader. And at that vote, the guy who wins is assassinated. Starts this huge, violent power struggle. So we'll have that out early next year in print from Dark Horse. There's a beautiful cover by Tim Daniel and Luke Castellanguida, great Italian artist. Something about the Italians, I tell you, they must have the water because great work and hit their deadlines. And then we're also developing this as a live action drama at Amazon. I'm producing that along with Kareem Zerk. I probably butchered his last name, so sorry, Kareem. Former head of TV production at Marvel, so very talented, experienced guy who's going to help us bring that to life.
And now we have, I'm going to give you a little introduction. Eisner Award, the 2024 Eisner Award nominated colorist, who made his debut with the psychological thriller Midnight.
Keep going. Kurt has a strange grip on the mic, by the way. You can see how delicate mine is.
Don't get too spicy, it's early here.
Hi, how are you? Mostly I'm a colorist. I probably worked with every artist in this room. ComiXology was nice enough to publish my first written work, which was a treat, and we're not allowed to talk about anything else. We're doing no. Okay. I don't know how to elevator pitch this, but I'll do it really quickly. The mid state is the when someone dies, the the time that the soul stays with the body, this character believes that he could speak with the devil. So there's a local disgraced clairvoyant in this small town who he knows what's going on, but no one believes him, and he teams up with the town's newest like rookie detective that's hiding from her past to figure out what's going on, and kind of to validate himself, to vindicate himself, and figure it all out. And there's lots of killing, lots of fun, lots of mystery. It's very Stephen Kingish, and I'm really excited it's coming out in print. I think that's a big deal for ComiXology. It's tough when you have stuff digital only, and to have something tangible, I think is wildly important. And I'm very thankful for it.
Multiple audiences. And what Lee was hinting at was that his name was on that slide.
Yeah, and I think Matt Cave, and it's a great company. So, that's it.
Thank you, guys. All right, I'd like to bring up Michael Gatos, whose book Beneath is a horror book, and he works with Stephen tonight, who couldn't be here. So we're going to run a clip from Stephen.
Hey everyone, Steve Knight here. I'm the writer of the ComiXology original horror graphic novel, Beneath. A lot of you may not know me by name, but you probably know me by the TV shows that I've worked on. Things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, Smallville, Spartacus, Daredevil for Netflix, and right now I'm hard at work on the spin-off of Spartacus, House of Asher. So what is Beneath? Well, it's a crackling little horror story written by yours truly with art by the amazing Michael Gatos. And the story revolves around a for-profit immigration detention center on the Texas-Mexico border. And on its very last night of operation, with a skeleton crew and just a few detainees left, something comes up from beneath the ground. And if you like things like Assault on Precinct 13 and Tremors and any good old-fashioned horror movie, I think you're going to really, really like this one. Beneath is my first full-length original graphic novel. And I just want to thank ComiXology for giving me the chance to fulfill that dream. And of course, I will mention his name again, the incredible Michael Gatos, who actually made me look really good and made me look like I knew what I was doing.
So this is Michael.
I have not met Stephen in person. All I've seen of him is, shoulders up for the last few months. I'm glad that you covered all this, so I could just talk about the art now. I jumped at the chance to work with Stephen and ComiXology. I had never done a horror book before, so this was a lot of fun for me. And it actually wasn't like gory horror, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big horror fan. I guess probably the Aliens, as far as we get, the horror that I like, which actually I try to make this very much character driven in that type of way. And I think that's one of my strong suits, and I really strive to make the characters believable in their interactions and their emotions and their expressions. Through color, I was able to make this, I think, very suspenseful. I just had a wonderful time, and I wanted to thank Stephen and ComiXology, and we had a great editor, Allison O'Toole. They let me add pages, so to expand some of the scenes that I had some ideas for, and they were all for that. And I'm very, very proud of this, and I can't wait for it to come up in print.
So now entering the ring, we have Clay McCormick, who's going to talk about the wrestling murder mystery hardstyle juice. And then I also want to bring up Tula and Helen, so that Clay's not alone.
I didn't know we could do a video package. Pardon my voice, it's a little rough. As Pamela said, Hardstyle Juice is a professional wrestling murder mystery written by myself with art by
Ricardo Lopez Ortiz, colors by Heather Moore, letters by DC Hopkins. And I hate to use the term passion project because in order to work in comics, I think everything is a passion project. But this was something Ricardo and I had been developing and talking about for about 5 years, I think. And to finally get the chance to do it with ComiXology was just was fantastic. And the team's great. And I'm a writer and I'm an artist. My skill as a writer is to work with artists who are better than I am a writer. And Ricardo just absolutely knocked it out of the park in this book. He took all of his influences, which range from manga to traditional comics to wrestling, and just mushed it all together in this amazing, explosive, energetic artwork that I think is just beautiful. And I could write page 12 through 13 through 14. They fight, and he would just go nuts and bring it all to life. But the world of wrestling and comics, I think, doesn't get crossed over enough. So we were really proud to be able to do that and write a book, and create a book that's more than just using wrestling as a prop, but it's actually about professional wrestling. And so hopefully fans of wrestling, comics, and everything. Yeah, thank you.
So next we have Eisner Award winning artist Tula Lote and Helen Milan to talk about the incredible book Groupies that's launching next week.
Thank you. Helen's much more articulate than me, so I'm going to let her explain it. But before we do, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to Jeff and Pamela and everyone for this lovely breakfast and for constantly being amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, here. It's great to be here. So Groupies is the story of a gang of girls who get taken on tour with a band in about 1970, 1971, who were just on the verge of superstardom. And in the course of the story, the girls start to suspect something rotten at the heart of the tour. But no one's really interested in what a bunch of strung out groupies have to say about anything. So it's kind of Boogie Nights meets a kind of supernatural horror story. And thanks to Lisa, it's swimmingly gorgeous. The art is incredible. The book is kind of a trippy fever dream set in the kind of dark heart of rock and roll. And,
Yeah, thank you. When Helen put the pitch to me, you just mentioned Satanic Panic, and instantly I was straight there because I'm fascinated by that era. And then when you bring the groupies element into it and how women would track within that scene, it's just, you can tell a really fascinating story within that. And I think that's what Helen's done, and it's been a pleasure drawing it, and I've gone wild. And I hope you like it. It's a little bit sexy and very, very gory. I thought we'd be told to tone a lot of it down. Like, let's go wild. Thank you.
All right, we've entered the announcement portion, so I hope you're all ready for this. We're going to bring up Pablo Armandi, and we're going to bring up Kurt Piers so that they're not alone being here. So Pablo is going to talk, and then we might hear from his collaborator.
Yes. Can you hear me? Thank you all for coming. I'm Pablo Raimondi, and I'm very excited to say I'm the artist for Ghost Notes, which is a new fantasy horror series that I co-created together with Mike Carey, who's writing. Mike and I have been wanting to work together for many years, so this is a dream come true for us. And made even better by everyone here at ComiXology, who have been just a pleasure to work with. So thank you guys. Rounding up the creative team, we're fortunate to have the great Jose Villarrubia with the colors. Hopefully we look good. And lastly, I'll say that this first volume of Ghostbox is 5 issues, and the first one comes out 11 short days from now on October. Mike is actually not here in the city this week, but he did tape a short video to tell you all a little bit more about the story. Thank you guys.
Hi there, I'm Mike Carey, speaking from the United Kingdom on a rainy day in London. I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but I am with you in spirit. Much rather be with you in person. So let me tell you about the Ghost Box. Ghost Box is the story of two sisters, Jan and Chloe Peace, and it starts when they come into an inheritance. An elderly relative, someone they didn't even know, has died and has left them, as it turns out, a house full of rubbish, full of junk of all kinds and varieties. And in amongst the rubbish, a box, a carved wooden box, quite pretty, but otherwise completely unremarkable. Except it turns out it is pretty remarkable. For one thing, it's one of the oldest artifacts in the universe. It probably predates the existence of the Earth by several million years. And for another thing, it's full of ghosts. Everybody who ever died in the vicinity of the box has had their spirit drawn into it, and they've stayed there ever since. Not knowing any of this, the sisters decided to put all of the stuff in the house up for auction. They advertise it online, and it attracts the kind of attention they didn't want and could never have suspected. As Pablo has already told you, we've been trying to tell this story for a long, long time, and now, under the auspices of ComiXology, we finally get to do it. We're pouring everything we've got into it, and we're having the time of our lives. It's got monsters, demons, ghosts, angels, ancient mysteries, and at least one whole world cop. We hope you'll check it out.
Launching on the 29th of October, and yeah, we're super excited about it. Thank you. And next we have Kurt Pierce. So Kurt has endless ideas, and his current series is Endless, but he's also going to make it now.
Nice segue. Yeah, so Endless, book that's currently coming out. We got 4 issues out right now. The 5th issue will be out end of November-ish. But yeah, Endless is a story about a guy, sort of on board in space and time and cycle through these parallel lives. And I thought it'd be really cool as sort of a lover of comic art to have a bunch of my new favorite artists draw the book, right? So first issue is drawn by Diane McGuinn, who's a really talented illustrator from Toronto. And we have Jacoby Salcedo, drew issue 2, guy that I booked with Dark Horse with, very talented guy. Italian superstar Stefano Carnicelli, again, something in the water. And then Brian Quackenbush, who's really talented new illustrator I worked on a bunch of projects with. But yeah, that book's coming out and really loving it and loving working with all these super talented illustrators. Our next thing is a new announcement. It's a book called Stillman, which is about a hitman who leads a double life. By day, sort of this family man with a couple kids and a wife, and by night he murders people. And it's been more not just in New York, because issue 1 actually shows him murder Jeffrey Epstein. So I'm really glad I could be here to take in the ambience. But of course, not actually named Jeffrey Epstein because I don't feel like getting sued. But yeah, this one we're also doing similar to Endless because I love working with all the artists so much. So Sonado C draws the first issue. Second issue is drawn by another South Asian talent named Anirudh J. Again, I butchered the pronunciation. And then each issue will be drawn by a new different awesome artist. A little bit of crossover with the Endless crew, but some new names in there as well. So really excited about that one. And December for that one, Pam?
Yes.
Yeah, December. So look out for it.
Thank you. Next up, we have a video from MK Reed and Jonathan Hill. They couldn't be here, so they're announcing their new series called Budding Crisis, which will be coming out in 2025.
Hi, NYCC. Jonathan and I have worked on a couple of books before, including Americas and Science Comics Wild Weather. And it's really great to have this opportunity to work with them again after so long on Budding Crisis, a new book. Budding Crisis is an anthology of fantasy stories set in a world where there's a magic seed that grants wishes, but it's dying out, and there's some worries about what's going to happen next in that world.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Hill. Like MK said, we've worked on some books together. I really appreciate the sort of creative freedom that we have in working on this project. I was able to sort of experiment a little bit. And something I really wanted to do was make it feel a little looser than my normal work. And I kind of wanted to get the vibe of like it living in my sketchbook, like taking that energy and bringing that to the final pages. And we're also working with the colorist, Ali Joy, and she's done a wonderful job sort of taking that vibe that I started with the line work and bringing it to life in the colors. So I'm really, really excited for the art for people to read the book, but also see the visuals that we've made.
I'm sorry to be there, and we hope that everybody checks out the book when it starts. Peter Live.
Okay. Next up, Michael Conrad up, writer of Neptune, and then we'll bring up Scott Snyder and Valeria Pavocha as well.
Michael said.
So it's your, I feel like I blew my pitch.
Yeah, so we're gonna give it another shot. You wanna do it again? And this is a book that I did. It's called Neptune. It was I tried to find a talented Italian artist who would work with me, but no one in Italy will touch me. So I got this new guy, Nathan Newton, to work with me. He's fucking amazing, and I'm allowed to say fucking because it's early, and it'll help us wake up a little bit. I hope you check the book out. It's about I'm kind of like obsessed with chickens and eggs and human trafficking and killing my brother. So it's got a combination of those things. Hope you check it out. It's available on ComiXology right now, and it's going to be in print early 2025 through Dark Horse, which I'm allowed to say. This is what I'm here to announce today. It's called The 99 Legs, and it's my first professional thing that I ever had professionally done. I made a bunch of zines for a lot of years, and then ComiXology took a chance on me and my partner Noah Bailey with a book called Tremor Ghost, which is still on ComiXology, and you can get it in print through Dark Horse. That was in like, I don't know, it was 7 years ago. I saw it on one of those memories things. And I was like, man, it's been 7 years. And along with it was like a picture of myself, and I aged incredibly. Working in comics is terrible for your physical appearance. Noah and I followed that up with a book called Double Walker, which I think is like, it's showing like us growing as a team. And this is, thank you so much. This has taken a long time because Noah was hoping to work with the dude who did Spartacus Blood and Sand, but that guy won't work with Noah, but I'll still work with Noah. So the 99 Legs is kind of, that was a joke. Yeah, go get a mimosa. I tried. Do you want to talk about the way I'm holding the microphone? If I stand something. The 99 Legs is it's a book about it's kind of because Noah and I are obsessed with Italian giallo films, and this is our kind of effort to contribute to that big conversation, breaking a lot of ground. Leather-clad knife
killers, and a mystery centered around a struggling writer, which it's not about me. I mean, every character is me, I guess, in some ways, but you're gonna love it. I think that'll be out in early 2025 as well, and it'll be worth picking up just to see Noah's absolutely incredible work. So, thank you. Lee, did you have any comments?
No, I'm gonna.
Thanks for coming.
I'm gonna turn it over to best-selling writer Scott Snyder and Valeria Pelucha about an amazing artist who's done not just by thread, but some awesome work with Ferrari. If you haven't seen it, and she's been posting about a lot. And yeah, so take it away.
First of all, hi everyone, and if we're going to talk about the place use my comments, which is they them. And I'm really happy to be here again for the second year in person this ComiXology event. So thank you, Pamela, thank you, Jeff, and thank everyone in ComiXology. It's been an honor working with them, and I feel like I'm a family. And Sierra, I'm less nervous actually. So. And I'm Tim, but I'm not that talented, so don't be jealous. And thanks again to Scott and Jack for trusting me to be aboard again on this incredible series. It was a very wild ride, the first one, because it was my very first creator on series. But I loved everything we have done. I've went through pushing my very own limits, and I love that Scott and Jack both allowed me to actually be part of the story itself, trying to give my point of view, give my perspective of the character and story, and it stuck with me so much that I cannot wait to have it printed and in my hands, because having it printed digitally was insanely to see it out there, but having it printed is something greater. So I'm very glad. Thanks for the opportunity to have it in our hands.
Yeah. They're being very humble. They are absolutely one of the amazing Italian artists that I feel very lucky to work with. My son Jack is in school, so he's not here. He's a senior right now, so he doesn't think he needs to be in school, but he does. He'll be here over the weekend. But the joy of this book is honestly, I feel like I'm along for the ride. And again, Valeria is being humble in the way that they're not just an amazing artist, but an incredible storyteller. And just so everything good about the book comes from them and Jack, and it's a wonder just to watch it evolve and to help guide it. But if you haven't picked it up, it's sort of a fun post-apocalyptic adventure, if those things aren't too incongruous, where it's essentially about this strange substance that bubbles up, this carbon-based substance that bubbles up out of the center of the earth, and no one knows what it is. And it starts covering things like 100 miles every day. And by the time the story starts, it's covered the earth, and it not only kills things, but it's starting to make its own creatures. And so people live on these kind of things, these needles, these stacks of kind of detritus, and they string threads between the different needles to be able to see each other and connect and trade and all of this stuff. And it's about a bunch of kids who start to believe that geologically, because the crust of the earth has become so malleable, there's, weirdly, like, there's a whole mountain ranges of diamonds in the middle of the earth. Diamond seems to be the only substance that this stuff doesn't rot out. And so they believe that these mountains of diamond might have come up somewhere and created a new land. And so Arc 1 is about them setting off from one of these needles, this group of friends, to try and find one of these things. And they don't in Arc 1, but they become determined to continue that journey, and they only kind of become more fervent in their belief that it's out there for Arc 2. And Arc 2 is just out of control. It's so fun. So I'm so grateful to ComiXology for giving us the chance again. I mean, for me, I've been very lucky to get to work at DC and to have that kind of, have that kind of big two lane to drive in. But you know, when I left in 2019 to take a break, all I wanted was to do a creative walkabout and to be able to do all the things in my head, work with all the kinds of people I'd never gotten to work with, or people that I had worked with but not freedom, you know, not had the freedom to do things. And again, ComiXology couldn't have been more encouraging about just every swing, take it. As long as you're passionate about it, do it. And so again, like Kurt said, I know passion project gets thrown around a lot. But all of these are, you know, there's no reason to do them otherwise. The fun was to be creatively exploratory, and sometimes you really, you know, find something that just exceeds your expectations. And again, to Larry's credit, Jax, and also Whitney, our amazing colorist, and everybody on the book too. It's just such a joy to be a part of. So I'm very excited and grateful to get to continue it.
Yeah, if I can take another 2 minutes from you, I just wanted to credit the team because I want to thank you, Will and Tyler, for their hard work on covering me up all the time and always there. Hi. And our amazing colorist, as Scott was saying, is Whitney Koga. She's incredible. Covers are made by me, but interior art are made by her. And her view about coloring is incredible. All the atmosphere is very important by a trad because it's a funny story, but it has also a dark twist somehow. So she is very incredible on leading you to all those emotions. And then I want to thank Tom Napolitano for his lettering, and then Emma Price for the amazing logos and graphics. And of course, everyone again in ComiXology. Thank you. Hope that you will like the second season. The first one, you had the chance on December to discover the printed version. Thank you.
So we just got a few more minutes left, and we wanted to just highlight a couple of titles that are coming soon. These people couldn't be here, so we're just gonna have a quick video from Thomas Jane and Mike Harry.
My name's Thomas Jane. I'm an actor and a director. I also run a little comic book company.
Mike Carey, sometimes I'm Mark Carey. We're really excited to be talking about the life.
This is something that me and Mike had put together 10 years ago. And for one reason or another, it ended up in a drawer. And through the generous help of ComiXology Originals, we were able to dust this thing off. And we are about halfway through production as we speak. I don't know how we landed you. A young writer named David James Kelly came to me with this werewolf story. This giant wolf, and nobody could kill it. It was wandering from village to village, and the legend grew. I like the fact that it was a group of hunters who are after this thing, so it has a kind of a wild bunch aesthetic to it. We end up in a big castle infested with werewolves.
You sent me that treatment. It all came to life as I was reading it. So I was really, really happy to sort of come on board and play with that.
We are not going to even hint at the surprises that we have in store in horror and sci-fi genre. There's always a twist. We're happy to be able to share this little preview with you guys, and we're very excited for what's in store. So stay tuned.
Yeah, so we announced that at San Diego Comic-Con, and that'll be coming in early 2025. And then Steph Phillip continues to do great work with us, and Sliced is an original graphic novel that'll be out next month by Raphael Gabon and Cameron Rizzo. And lastly, but not least, The Girl Who Draws on Whales is an incredible book that has been delayed a little bit, but you're going to hear from Ariel Christina, and you're going to know why.
Hello everyone, I'm Erica Santina. I'm a comic and graphic novel artist, and some of you might know me from Adora and the Biscuits, which I co-created with Mike Verhagen. I also did Insects, Nakahari, and Alpha Fury. Today, I'm thrilled to finally share a project that's been a dream of mine for a long time. My first graphic novel that I've both written and illustrated, called The Girl Who Draws a Whale. The story is a young adult adventure about Wendy and Remy, siblings who are fighting to save their world. Their art becomes their way of saving everything they know and care about. Don't catch them. They're whales. I wanted to create a story that shows the courage it takes to go against odds and how powerful the bond between siblings can be. This project is very close to my heart, and I've been working with a great team, Sarah Stone Colors, Bernardo Bryson Letters and Design, and Will Dennis on editorial and emotional support. Living in Indonesia, I am constantly inspired by the landscape, the culture, and the people. I grew up reading diverse folk stories from all over Indonesia. Each province has its own tales, rich with adventures and wisdom. Through my Myanmar's journey, I hope to share some of that spirit and introduce readers to the beauty in Indonesian culture. I wish I could be there with you in person, but thank you so much for your support, and thank you to ComiXology as well for supporting me along the way. I hope the story resonates with you. Thank you so much. Enjoy your New York Comic Con.
So that's the presentations. I want to thank you all for coming. I want to let you know that there's a panel this afternoon at 1:30 with some of these amazing creators. That will be moderated by Alex Segura. And when you leave the room, you'll be getting your gift bag that will include your Parliament of Brooks. And don't forget to socialize any of the stuff that you've seen today, and have some food and enjoy. So thank you so much for coming. So any of the creators who spoke today, would you mind coming up so we can just grab a quick photo?